is running a detailed investigation into the immediate and remote causes of the recurrent grid failure. The minister disclosed that the federal government is working to have the supervisory control and data acquisition improve the capacity and reliability of the national grid. Meanwhile, the Federal Ministry of Power has explained the reason behind the recent collapse of the national electricity grid. In the statement, the ministry disclosed that the collapse happened between vandals had caused the disruption on transmission tower between Akwa Ibom and Cross River. It will be recalled that the national grid had collapsed for the third time in 1 month yesterday evening. Following the recent collapse, Nigerians have lamented the frequency of loss of power under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has expressed satisfaction over the conduct of its mock Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) in 757 centers nationwide. The board's head of media and information, Fabian Benjamin, said this in an interview with newsmen in Lagos today. Benjamin noted that no less than 175,000 candidates participated in today's mock examination nationwide. He, however, said that the board will not take the sources recorded in today's examination for granted owing to the fact that most of the centers operated below capacity. The director vowed that the body will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that maximum results are gotten from the main examination scheduled for the month of May. The governor of Benue State, Samuel Ortom, who also doubles as the leader of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the North Central Zone, has charged the leadership of the party in Nasarawa State to unite and see to it that those who have left the party returned. He encouraged them to embark on new membership drive to strengthen the fortunes of the party in the 2023 general elections. The charge, which was contained in a statement issued during the weekend in Makurdi, was given during a meeting with some key stakeholders of the party from Nasarawa State to find solutions to leadership crisis that has plagued the party in the state. Ortom expressed sadness at the fact that he is only the PDP governor in the North Central Zone. On this week's edition of People's Forum, our correspondent Oluwadamilola Agboluaje expressed the impact of political apathy on electoral participation in Nigeria, as well as ways to increase voter participation in the country electoral process.
What is going on in the country now? During the election, so they come out, they campaign, they promise. After to collect the PVC because of they might need this for other things, not for the voting.
There is so much faith. We believe that whatever they want to happen, it happens. So that's what concerns people, and that's why people look like it. That what is the next? Some of us that were there talking about the election, these people that we wanted, or people that doesn't want. We don't have the voters card. We know that. And that is what happened in this area. When you go to north, it's better than in the north. They understand what they call the election. But here, there's no understanding. To sensitize people, when you sensitize them, people will understand what's the right thing to do. And I believe that they will do that when you have the knowledge of something, be able to participate better in it.
Come out to vote during an election. Lack of trust. Because the result of election fails at times. When people say this is the candidate we vote for and the result is saying something else. So people tend to say, even if you don't come out to vote, they know the person that will emerge. That's one. Number two, people are afraid of political violence. You come to vote now, you want to exercise your franchise to vote, then you begin to hear gunshots of their life because this the person that will emerge. Even if you vote or not, the person that will emerge.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation has revealed that security agencies are currently handling issues around negotiation for the release of abducted passengers who boarded the Abuja-Kaduna train that was attacked by terrorists on March 28, 2022 in Kaduna. The managing director of the corporation, Fidet Okiria, assured that efforts have been made to secure the release of the passengers. This follows the contacting of family members by the terrorists Okiria also told newsmen that 12 out of the 14 coaches of the attack train have been recovered and moved to the corporation stations. He stated that the half-capsized coach has been pushed back to a standing position. This is as it almost tumbled following the explosion of the bomb planted by terrorists on the rail line. Okiria, however, said the status of the 362 passengers and 20 train crew members on board the train remained the same as of the last updates, adding that the corporation will continue to update the general public on the latest developments. In its effort to put an end to crime and disunity across the country, the Senate has considered a bill to establish the National Religious Harmony Commission. Moving the motion, a lawmaker, Sadiq Suleiman, said the bill, if approved, will serve as an intervention to promote religious tolerance, peace and harmony in the country. Suleiman noted that the bill will also promote and respect human rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction to race, sex, language or religion. The bill, after consideration, was referred by the Senate President to the Committee on Establishments and Public Service Matters for legislative inputs.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the National Religious Harmony Commission and for other matters connected thereto 2022 second reading taken, and the bill is referred to the Committee on Establishment and Public Service Matters for further legislative action to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
The governor of Gombe State, Mohamodu Yahya, today approved the distribution of 60 bags of food items across the 11 government areas of the state. The items are to be distributed to individuals, groups and associations scattered around the 140 wards of the state as part of the Ramadan relief package. The Director General of Press Affairs, Government House, Ismailia Misili, made the announcement today. He noted that the humanitarian gesture by Governor Inuwa is aimed at providing succor, especially to the less privileged persons in the society in the holy month of Ramadan. In the meantime, an international organization, Oxfam, has predicted that Africa might be hit by its worst food crisis in a decade, with 27 million people experiencing acute hunger. The report also indicated that the number could rise in the month of June unless urgent action is taken. With this development, 11 million people might face acute hunger in 4 months in Africa. Taiwo Onlariwaji completes the reports.
Following the hunger crisis in Africa, an international organization, Oxfam, has predicted that Africa might be hit by its worst food crisis in a decade, with 27 million people experiencing acute hunger. The report also indicated that the number could rise in June unless urgent action is taken. With this development, 11 people might face this acute hunger in 4 months in Africa. Speaking on food security on the flagship program on Impact African Television, IATV, an agriculturist, Ayotomowa Ogusua, said it is alarming and must be prevented. Ogusua noted that the people are already facing acute hunger with the hike in food prices, harvest and prices of inputs. He further noted that the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war can lead to more hunger in the land.
The poverty gap is actually is increasing by the day. But sadly, the problem is the vulnerable and the poor who feel it more. That's what's the truth. Who feel it, and even from the global analysis, you know, it means that Africa will actually feel the effects of the global food crisis more. Because most times we are the receiving end. We are the ones that consumes more. We are the ones that, you know, that our production is not enough. We are the one that depends on, you know, importation, aids, and all that.
Ogusua also lamented that Nigeria is not producing enough, even as he called on the government at all levels to reduce the dependence on foreign goods. He urged the federal and state governments to enforce good policy which is sustainable.
If the energy sector of Nigeria is being worked on, and we are able to have a sustainable and a working energy sector, I'm telling you, the cost of production of most of these things will come down, even though by 30-25%. And that's actually a lot. And also, the state government also should come on board. Aside just the federal government, the state government, there should be subsidies for farmers.
Speaking further on the issue, a public affairs analyst, Femi Babala, said the lots of people are crying because of hunger. Babala noted that the rising insecurity in the country is badly affecting the people. He urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, end the menace.
I would like go into the farm. Let me just go to the farm to do whatever I want to do, whether I'm a peasant cultivator or I am farming on a large scale. The point is, the moment I go there, there are people with AK-47 that will come and arrest me. They may likely even kill some people because you know what happened at Okegun in Oyo State. They kill people. Everybody has to run away from that place from the farm, only for their animals, their cows, to be feeding on the crops of the farmers. So how are you expecting them to stay there? Nobody should predict that there's going to be hunger. We even know, do we need any predict? No prophet should tell us.
Taiwo Olarewaju, ITV News.
Stakeholders have charged economic movers and decision makers in the southwest to shift the focus of the region to the emerging global markets in the solid minerals and agricultural sector. In a chat with our correspondent Iroyin Lekunrere, they noted that the region moved become pertinent in the bid to revamp the economy of the region and that of Nigeria.
The search for the country's sustainable development has prompted a Southwest Stakeholders Forum on the prospects of agricultural and mineral resources sectors. This is to awaken the economic consciousness of Nigerians, especially the Southwest region, to the robust benefits of revamping the agricultural and mineral resources sector. Speaking at the event, the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, represented by the Executive Assistant on Administration, Idowu Ogedengbe, said the state government is committed to collaborating with all the necessary sectors to ensure the development of the state.
And we are committed to ensuring that we construct the necessary road access in all the various local governments, apart from the ones that the local government will be constructing. As a state government, we also have commitments to the rural access agricultural marketing project, RAMP. Our infrastructural development vision is to target the economy of Oyo State, the critical segments and sectors that are contributing to our GDP. We want to ensure that we facilitate infrastructural development with a view to enhancing our GDP as a state.
Also, Nigeria's former ambassador to the Philippines, Dr. Yemi Farambi, reiterated the fact that the country is in dire need of industries that will ensure the country's economic growth and development.
We are going to go at economy. Then we have to do what a few other countries have done. And look at the geological survey of Nigeria and look at the southwest. There is no local government of the 117 that is put in the constitution that hasn't a mineral resource. Not one. As a matter of fact, we know that the bulk of the gemstones that we import into this country were carried away as laterite from Oyo North. So all we need to do for our economy to grow, to expand, is to look at these mineral resources in each of the local governments. Instead of exporting them as raw materials, can we begin to refine and process them?
Similarly, an elder statesman, Bale Ekotedo, Elder Taye Ayorin, they said it is unfortunate that the country has lost a lot of industries which ought to be of benefit to the country. Other than that, the event is a wake-up call.
Education-wise, take it is here. Industry is here. Cocoa house, look at it, built from cocoa money. But unfortunately, most of these have gone to the dogs. Why? Because of the jaundiced political situation in the country. Because of the fraudulent constitution. Because of the managers of the exhibition is necessary.
Enhancing the agricultural and mineral resources sector will invariably put the nation on the path of sustainable economic development. Iroyin Lekunrere, ITV News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has assented to 4 bills recently passed by the National Assembly, including the Harmonized Retirement Age for Teachers in Nigeria Act 2022. Others are the Nigeria Law Reform Commission Act 2022, the National Biotechnology Development Agency Act 2022, and the Federal Medical Center Act 2022. The Harmonized Retirement Age for Teachers Act provides for the retirement age of teachers in Nigeria. It will be recalled that the Federal Executive Council had in January 2021 approved a new bill to increase the retirement age of teachers in the country. Section 1 of the Act clearly states that teachers in Nigeria shall compulsorily retire on attainment of 65 years of age or 40 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. President Muhammadu Buhari has, in a written communication to the House of Representatives, formally sought for an increase in the 2022 budget deficit to be financed through borrowings from the domestic markets. The move, which will further add to Nigeria's already huge debt profile, is coming few days after the Debt Management Office (DMO) released the schedule of the federal government's 720 billion domestic borrowing plan for the second quarter of 2022. Taiwo Olariwaji completes the reports.
Muhammadu Buhari has in a written communication to the House of Representatives formally sought for an increase in the 2022 budget deficit to be financed through borrowings from the domestic market. The move, which will further add to Nigeria's already huge debt profile, is coming few days after the Debt Management Office released its schedule of the federal government's 720 billion naira domestic borrowing plan for the second quarter of 2022. Speaking with Impact News correspondent Oluwaseyi Ajayi, said the borrowings should not be coming at a time when the country is in a serious debt. He also decried that the previous borrowings were not used for the purpose meant for.
That they are borrowing before, where is it? So it's not a news now. If they are talking that they want to go and borrow money, even it's not useful for Nigeria for nowadays. All Nigerians should be praying now because the situation we are now, we need prayer.
On his part, Christian Christopher lamented that the president does not have good advisors. According to him, borrowing to finance a deficit budget is not a welcome idea.
He does not have good advisors. Borrowing is meaningless to us. We borrow money for infrastructure. We borrow money to develop things that will give fruitful results in the future. We are borrowing money to service budget deficit. It is wrong. I don't think he has a good advisor.
Christopher added that it would have been good if the borrowings are meant for infrastructural development in the country.
If you are borrowing money to settle ASU, it's very important because students, the work ASU, the work they do to Nigeria is to impart knowledge to students. Imparting knowledge to students will give fruitful results in future. If he's borrowing money for infrastructure or borrowing money to develop one particular thing that will yield fruitful results, it is better. Borrow the money, it's like you are creating more problem for incoming government. The person that will take over from 2023, you are creating more problem for the person. We don't need to borrow.
The federal government has been criticized by many Nigerians for borrowing heavily, with a large number of citizens afraid that the country will not be able to pay back the loans. Taiwo Olariwaju, IATV News.
Governors of southern states elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party have insisted that the party should zone its 2023 presidential ticket to the southern part of Nigeria for equity and fairness. The governors expressed their position on the issue of zoning while briefing journalists after their meeting in Abuja. The governor of Abia State, Okeze Ikpeazu, who spoke on behalf of the governors, said they have watched with keen interest the developments in PDP regarding zoning, adding that it does not provide enough reasons for them to change their stand. He noted that their position is the first of proof of their commitment to the unity of the party because the party was founded on the basis of equity and justice. The wife of the Oyo State Governor, Tamunomi Nini Makinde, has called on the people of Oyo State, especially women and youth, to look inward and identify potentials that can generate income and add value to the state. She made the remark during the opening ceremony of the Adire Market Week, hosted by the wife of the Ogun State Governor, Bamidele Dapo Abiodun. Anu Akomalafe has details.
The prices of foodstuffs have recorded significant increases across major markets, and it is attributed to the hike in transport costs, Not only that, electricity tariff, price of filling gas, among others, are some of the challenges Nigerians are grappling with. According to survey, Nigerians spend 67.7% of their monthly income on utilities such as gas, fuel price, electricity tariff, mobile data, water, and other basics. Reacting to this, some observers lamented that a 30,000 naira minimum wage cannot settle their bills.
People cannot find it difficult to survive the present economic situation now. I'm a government worker. I know what I'm taking. If you're earning minimum wage, what is the essence of minimum wage? When a worker cannot even send his own or her children to an ordinary primary school without borrowing from banks.
Take-home pay of civil servants is not even enough to last for at least throughout the month. And we are even begging the government, if there is anything that they can do to reduce the hardship being faced by the people in the country, it will be of help, because we don't even know the way forward now. We are begging them to help us see to a way of reducing the hardship that people are facing on a daily basis.
It's alarming. It's so bad, sincerely. You know, the little salary we earn amounts to nothing. It amounts to nothing. There's nothing left any longer. Even many at times, you even borrow before the end of the month. So what do we do about it?
Others are of the opinion that Nigerians are only struggling to adjust to the current economic realities, and they urge government at all levels to do something about the current economic hardship.
We just have to manage. I don't know, but since we find ourselves in that situation, we just have to adjust. That's just it.
Some artisans who spoke with Impact News crew expressed concern about the epileptic power supply. They have to spend a lot on alternative sources of energy, which is having a toll on the cost of production.
To be sincere, everything is now going down, and everything is now moving. It's not moving forward at all. Due to that petrol, this is every day. I can say every day. Sometimes 350, 450, 550, almost 60 now that they are selling diesel. In that case, to charge customer. Just so you say they can't pay. Just collect the work inside. We can't collect because the price already increased. Before we say we are seeing paper, but as at now, this is the major problem that is there.
Àwọn tó ń ṣe tailor tí mo mọ̀ tó ń ṣe tailor tó ti dọ́lọ́kadà ló ti pọ̀ jù. Torí kìsì ni kò sí náà tó wọ́n fi ṣiṣẹ́ ṣọ́ọ̀kù wọn jókòó. Ó sì lójú generator tó gbé machine tàbí tó gbé iron.
It will be recalled that a new study by a United Kingdom firm, utility builder, revealed that Nigeria pay one of the highest monthly prices for internet broadband, with citizens paying more than half of their monthly wages purely for internet access. Anu Akomolafe, IETV News.
Stakeholders of the campaign against female genital mutilation have called on government at all levels to introduce measures that will trigger exposure on any activity in that regard. The call was made at a stakeholders capacity building organized in Osogbo, the Osun State capital, for staff of government agencies, media practitioners and other relevant stakeholders to broaden their perspective on female genital mutilation. Stakeholders were admonished to step up sensitization for security operatives and work in synergy on adequate implementation of extant laws at the state and federal levels. Speaking on the laws against the act, the State Ministry of Justice Kayode Titiloye cited Section 335 of the Criminal Code of Osun State, which provides that any person who unlawfully does grievous harm to another is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 7 years.
According to UNICEF published reports, 5 states in Nigeria, namely Ebonyi, Ekiti, Imo, Osun, and Oyo, are leading in female genital mutilation. Nigeria accounts for the third highest number of women and girls who have undergone female genital mutilation. To address the trend, the wife of the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Tamunomenene Makinde, hosted medical experts, circumcisers, civil society organizations, market women, and other stakeholders to sensitize them on the need to put an end to the practice of female genital mutilation. Represented by the Commissioner for Special Duties, Alaja Fausat Jokesoni, the governor's wife expressed joy that the state is witnessing decrease in the prevalence rate.
Stakeholders involved in these harmful practices against women, especially. So we are putting this one in the forefront. That is we are intensifying efforts in making sure that it is well known, not just in this corner, but all across Oyo State.
Also speaking, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Inclusion, Alaja Kafilat Omolabake Olaiwola, urged those who are still practicing the art to desist or face the wrath of the law.
Láti fi òpin ti kúrò mọ́ bá àmàwáyé náà ló fa pípéjọpọ̀ tí àpéjọpọ̀ lẹ́nìí torí pé láti gbogbo local government ni a ti pè gbogbo àwọn èèyàn àpà àwọn ìyá lọ́jà àpà àwọn bàbá lọ́jà àpè àwọn obìnrin agbègbè àpè oríṣiríṣi àwọn obìnrin yẹn wípé olúkálùkù tán bá gbọ́ ń bíbà ilé ni wọ́n á lè mú lọ sí orí ìgbèríko tí olúkálùkù ti wá.
In her words, the Oyo State FGM coordinator, Mrs. Balkis Olawoyin, pointed out that the practice has no health benefit for girls and women, stressing that efforts are ongoing to reduce the trend to its barest minimum.
They have also kind of promised us that they are going to institute a kind of internal surveillance among their members and report to us whenever they caught anybody practicing it. And we even have some that, they make us realize that truly they have stopped.
Other stakeholders said FGM can lead to severe bleeding, infections, complications in childbirth, and increased risk of newborn death.
Each long inherited bad tradition, and when we say something is bad, it must be eliminated. What are the consequences of this act? Hemorrhage, sepsis, tetanus, difficulty in having sex.
Once we were blind, now we can see. And when you can see, you won't strike your leg against a stone. So we shouldn't do it again, but we need to educate those who believe it should be done, to let them know why it should not be done. Let nobody hide under is traditional, is cultural. Culture changes.
They, however, urge the state government to equip circumcisers with other skills that can serve as source of income.
To look at a way of helping them. You say man must stop doing something from where he gets his sources of existence. We must do something little way and do it in a perfect way that it will go down well with them. They will not misuse it. There are bricklayers, there are tailors, there are all sorts of people. Everybody has a right to go to the farm. Let them give them some farming implements.
FGM is regarded internationally as a violation of the rights of girls and women. Anu Akomolafe, IETV News.
Still on the dangers on female genital mutilation, our correspondent Anu Akomolafe takes a look at how this menace can be curbed. The reports.
The event was to showcase the rich culture
not stain himself with the game of politics. One who is coming from a technocrat background, who has succeeded privately, who have a track record. I know that many Nigerians may be seeing my face new, and that is even more important and very, very good, because for a fresh face like this who have gotten so much experience from the private sector, I think Nigeria can be saved by someone like me, because I am neutral, I have the willpower, I can deliver, I can make decisions for the masses. I would not be making decisions that would solve the problem of this country, by considering fewer numbers of persons. You know, Nigeria problem cannot be solved by one man, but can be solved by a group of genuine-minded people. So what we are going to bring in is genuine-minded team. We are going to bring in sincerity. We are going to bring in straightforwardness. We are going to bring in national integration to ensure that Nigeria become that country we all hope to have. We all know, every Nigerian wants a new face. We are tired of the old faces. And if we keep talking about we are tired and nobody's taking action, it's as if we don't know what we are doing. So if Nigerians are crying out there that they want a new face, they want someone who has succeeded privately, you know, it is no time for us to be sharing our track record. We can check them out there. And I represent that face. I represent that face of hope. I represent that face that will change the narrative for the Nigerian. You know what's happening, security issues. This is no time for us to start mentioning those things. But there's a lot. There's no sector that is presently working. We are going to get it fixed when we.
A presidential aspirant, Christopher Inumole, has declared that Nigeria's challenges cannot be solved alone by an individual, but by a group of genuine-minded persons. He made this known in a chat with newsmen shortly after a closed-door meeting with Nigeria's former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. He noted that the visit follows a desire to drink from the former president's world of experience with a pledge to help solve Nigeria's challenges. He also challenged youths to get involved to change the country's narrative. On the foreign scene, Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has warned that if he is ousted from power, he will not recognize an opposition government. He spoke ahead of a no-confidence vote in parliament, which analysts have said he might lose. Khan said he only accepted the Supreme Court decision that he must face the vote, but repeated claims that the United States is leading a conspiracy to remove him. Washington has consistently denied the allegations. We will now go on a short break. News Round continues shortly.
Welcome to Adelayo Academy, an astute citadel of learning dedicated to raising future leaders.
Adelayo Academy, a national school with day and boarding facilities, is committed to instilling virtues needed to make a headway in life.
Our science laboratory is equipped with state-of-the-art facilities that makes learning very easy for students.
Our teachers are highly trained and up to the task of passing down knowledge in the most easy-to-learn ways. As you all know that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Our playground is top class and we take physical health exercise in a very conducive environment in the heart of Ibadan at Adelayo bus stop, Alagba Wakajaye, Iyano Church.
Adelayo Academy is the best option when it comes to giving your words a quality education.
What? Mommy, Daddy, I want to attend the Adelayo Academy, please.
Thank you. This is the school we have been looking for.
Admission form is obtainable at the school premises, Adelayo Academy, Wakajaye Yano Church, Ibadan, or Impact Africa Television, IATV, Impact House, Kolapo Ishola Estate, Yano Church Road, General Gas, Akobo, Ibadan. You can also visit the school website on www.adelayoacademy.org or call Adelayo Academy, developing character, competence, and confidence.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. Now to the rest of the news. The personal assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on digital and new media, Bashiru Ahmad, has disclosed that the president is not on a medical trip to London. The statement follows reports that the president had embarked on a 20-day medical trip to London, where he usually gets medical treatment. Ahmad would describe the news as fake, also dismissed the possibility of Buhari planning a medical trip to the United Kingdom. It will be recalled that Buhari returned from his most recent medical trip to London on Friday, the 18th of March, after he travelled on March 6th. Near Nigerians are expressing their desire for the emergence of visionary leaders. In a chat with our correspondent Ayodele Fakeye, the voice out that the election of credible leaders will be the only way out of the current challenges facing the country, the reports.
Over the years, the country has been bedeviled by poverty, insecurity, political uncertainty, bad roads, unemployment and corruption. These problems have been attributed by many to be a leadership issue. Reacting, some concerned citizens, Oladimeji Adeniro and Oluwatoyin Joshua said the time has come for Nigerians to do a critical appraisal of the people they want in leadership positions and not get sentimental about their decisions in choosing a leader.
I think people should demand credible people, and credibility has to do with being God-fearing, being wise enough to know what if there's no credibility, there's no things that make you moral. Morality is gone. So when we don't have a good and moral leader, there's no way the country
the candidate that is there, they wants to vote for the kind of a man or the person that the man is. Maybe is someone that have a conscience of God, that's God fearing, then the way he has been doing. So they should look at those things, and not ordinary man that doesn't have any conscience to do what is not supposed to be doing.
Also, a public affairs analyst, Martins Omobude, said the Nigeria of today is a leadership question, begging for answers, stressing that there are some attributes Nigerians should look out for when selecting the right leader.
If you are choosing a leader, you should be able to look at what is the quality, what is the history of this person, what has he done successfully. He may not be a politician in the past, but in his field of endeavor, is he a manager? Has he been able to manage successfully his company? Can he manage human beings? Then we now talk about probably educational background, which is also part of it. But in all honesty, it's not about having PhD in politics that makes you a good politician. Leaders who will not buy voters' conscience.
While citing some of the problems affecting the selection process, Omobude said people ought to vote for individuals and not the party.
Must be voting for individuals, not just a political party. For instance, you have a political party where they have been able to, during their primary, like it's been rightly and widely defined, that the primary election is a family affair where decision is being made in order to choose a leader who rules a family or who organizes a family or who administer the affairs of a family. But it goes beyond that in a larger society. You could choose a political party and be a candidate, and the larger society would reject the person. So if you are too sure of the person you are bringing, there's no need giving us an image.
He nevertheless said the onus is on the citizens to use their power through the ballot box to elect the right leaders.
The electorate should be able to hold the government accountable. They should let them know, these are your promises. Let there be manifesto. And let there be organizing meetings on daily basis by the electorate. So you can vote out a leader that you voted in. If it's not